Hello, everyone. Good evening. Hope you all are doing great. Welcome to our today's session of Meet the Global Leader. So, this program is all about discussing about lessons learned, some ways of developing skills, how to implement them, and the perspectives and views from our speaker. Another objective is to create awareness among students who are currently studying at universities to so that they can understand the importance of developing skills and how to decide or design their career roadmap. So it's just to an conversation is good to learn from the speakers that we have. So today we have invited Ms. Nishtha Kapoor. She is a young enthusiast who thrives on learning. Is not your average student. She is a very passionate learner who lives by the motto, "It's never too late to learn." Her curiosity is boundless and she has a relentless drive to master anything she said there her mind to. So apart from her enthusiastic drive or passion. She's from India, so it is going to know so many common things that we can relate through her session. So Nishtha, welcome to our session.
Thank you so much, Mehboob, for a wonderful, wonderful introduction. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here with me today. I am honored. So, I will start by introducing myself, sharing
Sure.
my background, and talking about what were the things and habits that helped me gain the skills I have today. What are the things that I really strive by, and I would always suggest, those who want to grow personally and professionally. I would just suggest the things that have helped me as a person. So, starting with this, I will next move on to introducing the entrepreneurial sector in Bangladesh. What are the things that have helped the companies that have grown so much in the last few years, and followed by how the future looks in terms of entrepreneurship in Bangladesh. Okay, so I'll just begin with introducing myself. Hi, everyone, again. I am Nishtha Kapoor. I just completed my full time MBA at Trotman, which is the University of Toronto's business school. I am currently residing in Canada, while originally I am from India. And prior to joining Rotman, I was an external auditor at Deloitte US India. So, in my role as an auditor, I used to provide financial reporting services to Fortune 500 clients across the globe. So, next, the thing I would like to touch upon is the kind of activities I was involved during my education at Trotman, specifically. So, I will say that, being involved in activities and initiatives has been, very true to my core since the beginning. I've been involved in a lot of event organizations and managing certain sessions, etc., and also in several volunteering activities. So I was the vice president of development for Links, which is a committee that strives to provide mentorship to female identifying undergraduate students at the University of Toronto. Additionally, I was also the vice president of industrial relations for the Rotman Net Impact Club, which strives to take initiatives to foster sustainability in the economy. And as we know today, both of these things are really, really important. I think that mentorship is key to the development and growth of an individual, and alongside that, sustainability is something that's really gaining force as the years are passing by. So that's why these two things, they grabbed my attention. I had a keen interest and I wanted to do something in these fields. So talking about my primary achievement, or something that I'm very happy about, the contribution that I made to Rotman was organizing the Rotman Net Impact Industry Night. So this was one of the most successful events at the school so far. And we organized it in collaboration with the Masters of Sustainability candidates at the University of Toronto. We had a huge footfall. It was, we witnessed around 100 students, attending this event, and we had around 10 speakers from the sustainability landscape, who have their different initiatives and who have started their own companies and have grown so much in the last few years. So they answered questions for all the students who were interested in this landscape. And now I would just like to touch upon this few skills that I've learned during my time at Trotman and that have really helped me so far. And I feel like they are very important for an individual to hone. So the first one would be having an open mindset. We meet people from different cultures with rich experiences in several industries across the globe. And in order to make the best use of that, it is really very important to keep the right attitude, put your head down, learn from them, and embrace new perspectives to be able to showcase growth. Because I feel like, having a diverse background, we talk a lot about it nowadays. Diversity, equity, inclusion. These are the three words we hear in every company today. But we fail to understand what is it that takes, what is it that is important for us to take away the maximum learning or growth from that environment. Like, if you have diverse people around but you don't have an open mind, you're not going to really learn and embrace the new things, right? So that's what I feel is very important, along with having a diverse group of people, right? The second one would be having a collaborative spirit. So I feel like it's really important to work as a team. Together we grow, together we learn, right? So we cannot succeed all alone. And trust me, how much ever you try, you cannot fix in all the boxes required in any organization or in any business. You need to learn from people. You need different kinds of people with different skill sets, and it's very important to respect each and every individual's skills, talents. There are things we are born with that we are very good at, right? So that's what I would say, that it's important to hence pool your share of knowledge and leverage your expertise to achieve wonderful things together. The third one is being curious. This is one of the most important skills that drive success. So, being curious ignites that spark in you to keep doing better, not just for yourself, but also you do it for others. Because, if I'm curious to know about something, I will also be curious to, like, share that set of knowledge with people. Because, to begin with, it was something that really made me excited, right? So if you're curious, you can really really learn a lot more and do a lot better. So it's very important to have that outlook to learn faster, and you end up being more efficient in your work also. It pushes you to take new initiatives which others might not have thought of at the first place. The last one is you should be willing and able to help others. This is one of the very underrated skills, I feel. But it goes a very long way in making strong connections, because being the person to offer help first, is it takes a lot, because you are putting in your time, your energy in uplifting someone else, in sharing your set of knowledge, sharing things that you already know, right? That is what, when it comes to helping others, that is what helping others means. But it takes a lot. Like, it takes you to be kind, it takes you to think of others in the first place. So I think this is something that nobody ever forgets. Like, there's this great saying that mentions that people don't remember the words, but they remember how you made them feel. So it's literally like, anyone you end up helping will be thankful, grateful to you. And in some way or the other, you are going to be also rewarded for that. So all of that good deed that comes back to you, and then eventually you will also receive support from them, right? And that too when you least expect it. So this is a foundation of, again, building a very strong network, and this builds trust among others. Now, the next thing I would like to share about is the organizations I've been a part of and the impact that I have helped create for the community, or the things that really keep me going. So,
Before that, just want to
sure.
share with our audience regarding like your associations with things you mentioned at Workman, vice president, the role you played there. So when you were studying at Workman, so what motivated you during that time to take part with volunteering activities?
Hmm.
We in general we used to hear that studying abroad it takes a lot of time. It's very difficult. You have to mostly focus,
Hmm.
keep your focus on studying. So even if in our country, say for example in Bangladesh, maybe you can relate in your country, in India, that in most cases students struggle with maintaining their time, or managing time to study, because there are so many things as a distraction nowadays. So
Hmm.
apart from that, it's not common in general. But what motivated you, took part with those associations, and I know
Hmm.
being playing that role, like the ownership or the responsibilities that you had. So how did you manage your study and that role, and some suggestion for students who want to balance their time, or who want to do volunteering activities along with their study.
Sure, definitely. That's a very valid question. I would say that's a good question to ask. So, most of the times, Mehboob, I would say, so humans as such, we are lazy people, right? We don't really want to go out there and like keep doing things, but it's all about keeping yourself motivated and trying to do whatever you can. So I would just say that for me the biggest motivation was just the decision to do an MBA and to change countries. Like, it's not an easy task because you have to start from scratch, right? I was doing well in my job, but starting with what motivated me to do my MBA was I'd come to a point where, like, I was doing well, the organization was amazing, I had a great team. I'm very grateful for the learnings I had at Deloitte US India, but I came to a point where I felt like my learning was a little stagnated, or I would say it was like it was within a particular shell, like it was in one industry or domain. And I felt like I really wanted to explore other domains and industries. And without upgrading my skills, it was not possible to make that shift, right? And I felt like this is the right time to also pursue a higher education. And I was always very keen on studying in a global environment and learning from people across different cultures and ethnicities and countries. And that is why I chose to do a global MBA. Okay. And now, next, answering your other question on to what motivated me to take up additional roles besides my academic course, I would say that after I'd taken this bigger step in my career, it was important for me to make the best use of it, right? And I felt like starting with leadership positions within your school, that sets a foundation for you to learn those skills that you haven't had so far, and also refine the skills that you have individually and you have honed in the years in your experience, right? So it's not just learning new things, it's also refining the things you're good at. And I feel like that is it was those year and a half and that phase where I was involved in those activities, in organizing those activities, in connecting with so many people, because I was a part of the industrial relations team. I was the vice president for that, for RNI. So I was in touch with so many CEOs, so many executives who had built big companies and had done amazingly well in the field of sustainability. So I think you learn a lot of things. You learn leadership, you learn the difference between being a leader and being a boss, right? And I learned this back in time that I want to be a leader, and I think that journey is never ending. So I feel like it's always a learning curve. There is always something or the other that you can improve on. And yeah, that's what drove me, it motivated me, and I went ahead with it. And I'm just very thankful. So one advice I would say to those who feel overwhelmed by so many things on their plate is just that yes, it's important to not bite more than you can chew, but also like try to see what's the biggest bite you can take, right? Because everyone wants to have the most experiences and the most amount of learning in the least amount of time, right? That's something that's going to also serve you. And these in and especially in the initial years, when you don't have a lot at stake and you have your family's support, that's the phase when you can take some risks and just like you know be in the groove and keep walking. So I think that is what I have to say. And when you're in a situation, you end up finding a way. Like there are people there to support you, there are
Yeah.
things you learn from others. So it just I'll just say that things happen. Just be brave enough to like take on new opportunities and don't leave things on the table when you can grab them.
Definitely. So, like some of the things that you mentioned about teamwork and being curious. Actually, when you're curious, you'll like explore your own self, and then passion. One can explore their passion and find a way always. So, yeah, you were saying like about your experiences.
Yes. So yeah, I was just about to talk. I was just starting to talk about my experience with a few organizations that I really relish. So I'll say, besides doing something professionally or doing something academically, I've always felt very happy and very satisfied by contributing towards the society. So it is something that really makes my heart smile. And I feel like, there's this saying that says spreading smiles never goes out of style. And I really, really believe in that. So again, it's very important to give out, it's very important to contribute towards the community. And I feel like I have climbed the ladders of success because so many people have supported me in my career in big and small ways both, and it makes me very happy and it makes me want to contribute to the community and help others grow as well. So I've been involved with several national and international organizations, such as the National Service Scheme in India, the United Nations, Seven Cups, and some local NGOs also in India, which have given me a platform to empower others as I grow myself. So, I'll be happy to talk about any of them in detail if you want. But yes, we can, also move on something else that you're curious to know, and I can share some light on that.
So in detail means like it would be great to know some of your experiences or lessons you learned that was not at the university, or like or any other through any other mean you learn that thing. So some of the key facts like or learning or lessons that you would like to share with students that may help them like with that insightful information.
Definitely. Um, so I can talk about a few professional and a few personal learnings. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, so professionally, I will say that um, it's very important to ask for feedback, right? I feel like it's one of the most underrated things, and there is a way to ask for a feedback as well. So what are the things that I feel like I did differently or I realized in time and I ensured that I am implementing them was being very honest and upfront with my team leaders and managers. even at school. So I used to be the person, you know I would always go back and ask the teacher, what is it that I've lost my marks on, right? Like, it started from there. Just always striving to do better. And even if it was literally like half a mark, like, it's funny, but I would want to know what is it that I did not implement in the first time, so that I don't end up making that mistake again. So
Interrupt you, on in that point. Um, yeah, metaphorically you have meant funny, but like from my personal experience, what saw actually, students who were always like my friends, or like juniors, who are very attentive to one mark. They are now doing PhDs and exploring the world, and like they are in their almost the highest peak on their career. They all are
Mhm.
doing great, but during that time, like that negative thoughts surrounding, oh, you're fighting for one mark. It's not about that. It's about the point you just mentioned.
Yes.
Like just to do better, so that like next time you will take care of that. So this is very important. And students sometimes they um, unintentionally skip their result, which is actually very dangerous and deadly for them in terms of
Mhm.
their professional and entrepreneurial career. So just to like share thoughts and to the students that every single mark counts, and it will help them to go a long way. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yes. Yes, no worries at all. And I think, you're very right here, Mehboob. But at the same time, while saying that do strive to do better at every point of time, I don't mean by saying be hard on yourself. Okay, that's the second learning. So that also stemmed from my childhood, because I remember my parents always used to, care about, are we making an effort, right? They wouldn't care much about, hey, what is the rank that you had in class, right? They wouldn't care about, my daughter is ranked first, my daughter is ranked whatever. They always said, we are proud of you because we saw you putting in a genuine effort, and that's all that matters. So I will say that it's very important to also cut yourself a slack. I learned this the very hard way, and I would always like keep beating myself up for the smallest of mistakes, right? So that this is something I realized and learned during therapy. Like, I took some therapy, and that really helped me understand my own thinking patterns and the things that I did not realize, like, that were unintentional but were detrimental to my own mental health, right? So something linked to this is monitor your self dialogue. It's very important for you to realize how you're treating your own self, right? When it's about the smallest versus the biggest of things, like, you should respect yourself, treat yourself like a human, treat yourself like you would treat your best friend, or like you would treat your sibling. You would not beat them up on the smallest of mistakes. You would just be like, hey, it's okay, it happens. But a lot of times we tend to keep, you know, having that negative self dialogue that, oh, shoot, I made that mistake again. Oh, I shouldn't have done that, right? But it is okay. Like, it's just fine. You need to be aware. You need to know that there are things that you end up being making those mistakes at. Be aware, note them down, try to improve slowly, like, but just don't keep beating yourself up, because that reduces your productivity, reduces your positivity, reduces your willingness to do and try out new things as well in the future. So that is the next learning, I would say. I mean, these also are very, um, I'll say they are poles apart. It looks like they're very different, but both of them are important to have a balanced mindset and growth. Yeah.
Like you mentioned experience with international travel. So can you share how this has benefited your work approach?
International travel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I will say, for
Definitely.
example, like, yeah, yeah.
like you're saying, for example, I went to do my MBA to
Yeah, yeah,
Canada. So, okay, definitely, I will say that international traveling, or being in a global landscape, it definitely helps you grow again in various aspects. I'll say, I've been saying personally, professionally, but I'll say that even these two fall short of the level of growth that happens. Why? Because number one, I'll just state my example of the experiences that have helped me. I traveled alone, and it was the first time that I traveled internationally alone, and it builds self confidence, right? Then there are times when you come across situations and circumstances where, because you're all by yourself, like you can't keep reaching out to your family because they're too far apart, like they can't really do anything. They can help with emotional support, but you have to take the action at that point of time, right, to survive, to thrive, to do everything. So you end up knowing yourself better. You end up knowing what are the things that work for you as a person, what are the things that put you off. Like, I got to know myself better a lot more when I moved to Canada all by myself, because I learned, okay, these are the things that I'm good at, these are the things that I need to really work on. And there are other things besides this. Besides knowing yourself better, realize you know um, you realize a lot of other things that are prevalent in a lot of different cultures, but you never knew about that, right? So it expands your scope of thought. It widens your horizon of making decisions, and horizon of considering different aspects while deciding something, while thinking of something. So I think that in itself is a big growth, and that brings in new opinion, that brings in um, new perspectives. And if you embrace those, then obviously it's a new, you're a new person altogether. You're a transformed version of yourself, right? You are from a larva, you're a butterfly. Like, it's literally like adding on those new experiences, those learning from people who've been in different parts of the world, and being in different cultures where so many things, so many rules, so many um, like different ways of life. Everything is so diverse that you end up learning a lot of other perspectives. So I will say that that has definitely helped me widen my thoughts and horizon.
great. And like one of our of this organization's vision is to developing entrepreneurial mindset among youths, especially in Bangladesh. So, can you share your your lessons, your learnings and thoughts, and about like entrepreneurial sector in Bangladesh, and how we can develop in the sector of entrepreneurship. Some of your advice, and for students as well, uh, to be an entrepreneur, especially. What are the, as a student, what are the things they should skills develop, skills wise, and knowledge they should develop as well. So yeah.
Definitely. So I'll say, entrepreneurship starts with a willingness that ignites in you to do something that someone else has not done so far, right? That's what being an entrepreneur is. Like, you want to start something, you want to do something about a particular problem, about a thing that has been bothering you, or something that you're very passionate about. So I feel like it all stems from doing the smallest of things. Like, it's so entrepreneurship, until very long in my head, was just about having a lot of capital investment to do something, or to start your own business. But it's not that. This is something I've learned very recently, that it's not about all about investment. It's also about just trying your hands at the small things that you can do, right? Having an entrepreneurial mindset is altogether something that you can do at any point of time. Having that mindset, it's just about being curious, learning new things. It's about trying new things out, and not fearing that you're going to fail. So this is something also that for the longest of time I was, you know, facing. Like I would not start on new things. I would not explore a lot of new opportunities just because of the fear of failure. But I think having an entrepreneurial mindset means that you are open to trying out different ventures, trying out different opportunities. It could, just be as small as, for example, you're passionate about finance, like you want to do something in finance. It's as small as just creating your profile on any finance based website and starting to do some trading. There are websites that don't involve real trading, that are just like incubators. It's just like a sample or a game that you're trading. Just starting on things like those that are not very high on risk but can help you understand your interests and the things that you're very good at, that can help. And for example, recently, I started, I literally, why I had an open mind again was also like, I was like, I never knew that I was good at sales or at negotiations, right? Until I did that course at Trotman. And I realized that, okay, there are things that I never knew about that I'm good at. And then I reached out to someone, regarding a job. And I didn't start off as a sales specialist, but later I was assigned that role because the people in charge, like, they were no longer part of the company. Okay, so that's when I started working in sales, and I never knew I was so good at it. So it's all about, just trying different things out. Like, here the example is, I should have tried that on my own. Like, I should have been more curious on that. But and yes, that made me realize, I was very surprised when I saw that, okay, there could be, diverse work streams that you could be very good at, and it's very important to keep exploring. So that's what entrepreneurship is for me. And yeah, eventually you end up finding a way. Once you know that you're good at something and you're confident, you end up finding a way to make it work. Yeah.
Great. Like sometimes we see our like life in a very, like you said, we in the beginning we are very lazy in general. Like
Mm,
that is true. It's because like we left comfort zone and we don't explore. We are not curious. So like in most cases, what happen is students, they get a, like, say for example, in your case you had a very good work experiences, you were associated with best organizations, but like you explored, you traveled, you did your MBA in another countries. So sometimes like we miss, in most cases, say for students of Bangladesh, like miss that thing. Students should like think beyond their border, like they should have that mindset. So like you did your MBA, and again you are exploring different like lessons or different subjects, um, new country, new culture. So what made you to actually, like, you have good jobs, so what made you go beyond your out of to go out of your comfort zone, and why MBA at that university, and how students, is it wise to have do the MBA just after the graduate, like bachelor, or what is the ideal time to do an MBA locally or globally?
sure. So, answering the first part of your question, like what motivated me to go beyond my comfort zone,
Yeah.
um, I'll say it was
Like you
just
had
because,
you had good job. You have a nice lives, very set
yes,
according to some of like those lazy people. But you did. It's not easy, like to apply and go for MBA in those
yes,
like best countries. So yeah,
definitely, I agree with you. It was definitely one of the toughest decisions, I would say, because I was doing well. I was also happy in the job. I was growing well. The rate of growth was really good at the company I was a part of, and it was very tough to literally leave all of that behind and then start afresh. But I'll say why I chose to do my MBA was primarily because I wanted to keep learning and I wanted to upgrade myself and wanted to try different things out, because I think I had the fear of not trying, like the fear of being in a guilt that I never tried. Because I realized it deep down, like I knew it deep down, that I wanted to explore something beyond the domain I was a part of, even if I was doing well. And I didn't want to live in the guilt of, hey, I never tried doing anything else. Because after a certain point of time, like after you've spent some years in the same domain, it is very difficult for you to keep changing, right? So I did not want to be in that zone and lose out on the right time to make that shift, because I felt like it was just like the right time to upgrade my skill sets and to um, do another degree. And when it comes to, okay, me telling someone what is the right time for you to do your master's or for you to do your MBA, number one, MBA is not mandatory. It is not important for everyone out there in the professional world. Okay. So you are the one who has to decide what is the degree that matters to you. What is the degree that is going to take you to achieve your own dreams. Okay. For me, it made sense to do an MBA because I wanted to be in the professional career. I wanted to be in this landscape and in the corporate environment, basically. And I wanted to explore some different career landscapes beyond auditing, which I was a part of, right? And I had also done my bachelor's in commerce honors. I was already um, like I had done, some of the courses already that I did in my MBA. Like I had done the intros to those. Of course, MBA was way more vast and much more. I'll say like higher in terms of the levels and the learnings, but yeah, I eventually it depends on what your eventual goal is, final goal is. Okay. It could just be masters in something that might suit you better. And say if you're only interested in sustainability, then maybe do a masters in sustainability. And if say you're interested in being a lecturer in India, there are separate exams for that, right? So just do what is going to take you to the final destination or your dream, right? And next, I will say that what is the right time for you to do an MBA, for example, that also depends on, you know, what is your career goal, right? So, in my opinion, like this is completely something that I have gathered through my research or through my understanding, and I'm not in any way saying that this is the only right thing to do. But I feel like if you have decided that you're going to stay in the same country that you are a part of, for example, if you're in Bangladesh at present and you're a student, you've done your undergrad, and you plan to stay in Bangladesh, for at least the next 10 years or so that you can see, right? Like you envision yourself only being in Bangladesh and not moving abroad, then I feel like it's better that you do your MBA the earlier you can, right? Because what I have noticed is that people in the same batch are placed in one particular company at one particular role with the same pay package, right? So it wouldn't matter if you do your MBA 5 years later or now, you are still going to get the same pay package, right? So I think the earlier the better. Whereas this thing changes a little bit when you think about doing an international MBA, because most of the MBA schools across the world, the recognized schools, need a minimum work experience of 2 to 3 years. So 2 years is for some schools, and that's very rare. 3 years plus is what most of the schools ask for. So that means that it is better if you wait for at least 3 years and then start your MBA abroad. That is what I have gathered, but this can change if the schools and the policies and their admission criteria change. So yeah.
Great. Thank you, Nishtha, for very to the point and brief, descriptions and some suggestions through your experiences that you had, that you experienced, learned all through your journey, and the way you share with our audience is really, really amazing. And this is very true. There is no alternative in whatever stage we are in. There is no alternative to study. Being curious. Learn new things, because by doing those, then the time will say that whether I should go abroad or what I should do, depending on the situation. So this is very important. And if you have mentioned several times, so if you just summarize just one point about how students can utilize their time, by what skills they should develop, like four 5 skills every student should develop, before graduation, so that with those skills they can, from any background, students from any background can start their professional journey very easily. So few skills that they
Sure.
must develop.
Definitely. So I'll say the first one would definitely be have good communication skills. It is very important to understand how to communicate with whom at what point of time, what to say when, and how much to say as well, right? So it is a very underrated skill, but this is something I've seen has taken people, to different heights. Like people have really, really grown and risen in their careers, because they were very eloquent. They had those skills to build those strong connections and just be there for others at the right point of time. The second one, which is very important, is to again keep learning, keep upgrading yourself. Don't be complacent. It is very easy to be complacent, but it won't continue that growth, right? You can't live on your past laurels for very long. It is very important to keep updating, keep learning, and be aware of what is going on in the world, like what is something that is growing pace. For example, at present it is AI, artificial intelligence is growing pace everywhere, in every sector, in every industry. So it's very important to learn and see, is your current job even going to sustain in the next few years, because AI is going to grow very rapidly and it might take away your job, or it might even make it more, even more lucrative or better. So it's important for you to know that. The next thing is, be open to feedback. Again, as I shared, that it's very important to know where you're going wrong, and of course also where you're going right, to correct the wrongs and to continue doing the right things. Then the fourth one would be willing to help, offer mentorship wherever, whenever you can. It is something that will definitely ensure you a good, peaceful sleep, and you will feel very good inside when you contribute towards uplifting others. Okay, that's how you grow together. And I will say the last one would be curious. Again, like it's very important to you know keep that excitement alive always. Yes.
Very, very, and in a very simple way you mentioned. And sometimes the way it is simple, but if not, practiced regularly, it is going to be very difficult. So it's all about, the helping others. There are so many ways to help others nowadays. You were you're an example. You were helping others, like by sharing, sitting, away from Bangladesh, in another country, and you are sharing your lessons, the road, yeah, you have taken so far, you crossed already by like learning this by like listening to story and lessons. Whoever is going to watch and whoever is watching is like they can correct their mindset, or oh, I should like they can't the course of like their road, that oh, I should like focus on that, I should focus on that. Okay, maybe I was focusing on that skill which is not feasible or not which is not in use right now. So like this is one of the example, but there are so many ways sitting at home we can like contribute for the benefit of others, like in so many ways. So it's about, we have to be a very good human being, and for that the skills that I mentioned, being curious and be communicative, is very good at communication skill are important. So, and Nisha, thank you so much, like on behalf of School of Entrepreneurship Development, for like for your wonderful contribution and your learnings with the audience of School of Entrepreneurship Development. So we wish you very best of luck and our sincere gratitude towards you, and thank you so much, like again, for this wonderful session and insightful information that you have shared with our audience.
No worries at all. Thank you so much, Mehboob. This is a great opportunity. I'm happy, very, very glad that I could be here. And even if this helps, even if it helps point some percentage to bring some growth or make somebody's life better, help them learn something from my experiences, I'll be happy. And it is definitely a great opportunity. I've literally got the most I could have from this time. And yes, I am very grateful, very
Definitely,
glad.
and it is going to like today or tomorrow is going to like empower students or with this information. It will help them equipped with confidence, and with this information they can like take the decision a bit better than before. And welcome to Bangladesh. Visit Bangladesh. We are near. So then have a good night and wish you very best of luck, Nishtha.
Thank you so much. Please take care. And I'm very happy for you to be organizing sessions like these. Like, it's a very kind deed of you, to be there, help out all the students there. So, thank you so much. And I'll be very happy to connect with any student, anyone who has any questions. I can share my LinkedIn profile, and happy to also, connect with them individually to help in the best ways I can.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Take care. Bye.
Bye.